Yo, you listening to JayDBO Radio? Did he say that? Nah, well, maybe so. But you still know it's all gravy, though. Around here, sometimes it get crazy, yo. But you know we keep it 100. He hide in the sky, but nah, he ain't blunted. And this here, everybody can't stomach. But trust me, y'all cats want it. It's JayDBO.
Well, I want to put a pin there, and I apologize for switching gears back again. When we were watching that All-Star game, there was a little bit of commentary on Isaiah.
Man,
back to the
no. The trip thing about it was this week, right? So they pull up the Blockbuster Mellow trade, and in the middle of the Blockbuster Mellow trade, they're asking Dolan. No, they're not Dolan. What's the GM? Forgot GM. But anyway, so they're asking the GM, how does he feel about his job security, considering Isaiah was a special assistant to Dolan, who's the owner. And I'm thinking to myself, there has to be some kind of sexual relationship between Dolan and Isaiah Thomas. I mean, it don't make any sense otherwise. I mean, when he was there, they were terrible. He damn near sunk the franchise. He damn near. He damn near sunk the franchise with all those expiring terrible contracts. I mean, he had more shooting guards on that team than any team ever needs, right? I mean, he had max deals on Steve Francis, Stephon Marbury, and a couple other cats, and I'm thinking, how could you want this guy back? And to boot, on his way out the door, what he laced you with was a $9 million sexual harassment lawsuit, some chick who worked in the front office. It was ridiculous. He already had bankrupt the CBA, then he went to Florida International. The only reason why he's getting out of there is because they're smart enough not to give him control of the school. Otherwise, you can forget that school. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? So why the Knicks are associated themselves with him is I don't know. I mean, because when Isaiah was a coach with Indiana, he was terrible. When he was a GM, he was the worst. He was a coach with the Knicks. He was a coach with the Knicks. He and Stephon Marbury wouldn't even talk to each other. Can you imagine? They talking about each other's business in the paper, like who was with this girl and who was with that girl in the newspaper. And this is a guy you bringing back to your team? There has to be some sexual connotations. You heard it here first. They're fooling around.
not that, we're just, again, just kind of, like I said, just off the cuff kind of talking. And, some of the things that fascinate me are some of the others, the lighter side of sports that you might, illuminate me to as we go through. But you brought up a point about a gentleman, Mr. Barber, and the girlfriend situation where he then
Tiki Barber. Yeah. I mean, that was just H news, but yeah, Tiki Barber had a very nice wife.
Very H news. How old is that?
Tiki been in trouble for about 2 years, man. He got in trouble about 2 years ago.
When did he leave his wife for that chick?
About 2 years ago.
Then forget it. We're gonna cut that.
Okay.
We ain't going there. All right. So back up here to now. We was talking about the spring training. So you kind of gave us some pointers about the Yankees. One thing I want to know. Spring training, I mean, what is it? I understand, the NFL combines where they're kind of trying out everybody, but what's up with spring training? I mean, do they have walk-on talent come in and try out on? What is it, just
yes and no, right? I mean, so you got some guys that will come up to spring training and they'll play, and they might get a contract with the team, or the team will quickly send them down to the minor leagues. As a matter of fact, the guy Bryce, who was the #1 pick in last year's draft, was up with the Washington Nationals, and he was saying that he was going to be with the major team, with the big league team. And within 3 days, they sent his butt down to lower single A ball. So it's you have an opportunity to prove yourself. But baseball is such a quirky sport, man. I mean, there's so many pieces to it. I mean, so it's hard to make the big league team. All of them, obviously, but baseball is just real quirky. They really need you to grow into the sport. And so, yeah, it gives you some time. But baseball has, 3-4 levels, right? There's AA, single A, triple A, A ball, so.
Yeah, now we're obviously, in the month of February, Black History Month.
Right. Yeah. Power to the people.
So the kids, he's a little boy is reading Jackie Robinson's story.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it was kind of enlightening, for me as well, what I'm saying, seeing where he came and all like that. But what was interesting is the story of how he actually got on to the Dodgers. I mean, just how that whole thing shook out. And so, I mean, since it is Black History Month, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how are we doing as minorities, as people of color, whether you're Puerto Rican, you're black, you're Ukraine, from Ukraine, wherever. I mean, how are we doing this? I mean, it seems like it's pretty integrated sports out there now.
Yeah. You integrated on the field. I mean, they're always gonna have you on the field. But the point is, we're not getting up off the field. You know what I mean? It's not. I mean, you talk about it. I mean, I think and again, my statistics are a little shaky, but in major college football, I think you got 6 black head coaches. Major college football, man.
How many college football teams? Major League college football teams?
I think it's 126.
And you got 6.
And all those field hands out there making money for them boosters, right? And you got 6 black coaches. I mean, head coaches. Now, I mean, you got a lot of coaches. You know what I mean? But head coaches. Right. I mean, that's a lot, man. I mean, in terms of numbers, and I mean, in NBA, what we got? You got your boy from Phoenix. You have Doc. You have Avery Johnson. Alvin Gentry is a guy in Phoenix, by the way. Avery Johnson. I'm trying to think. Is there another black head coach in the NBA? If so, well, there's a couple more. Your boy from New Orleans. And I think the guy at the Raptors, or was the guy at the Raptors. So I might be missing a few, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, you maybe got a handful.
Right.
And it's 30.
How many NBA teams?
It's about 30 teams. Right. You know what I mean? 32 teams. Right. And then in NFL, I mean, you got the same 2 or 3 cats. You know what I mean? But in NFL, at least they implemented this Rooney Rule, which on its surfaces have done some things. I mean, obviously your boy Tomlin has done well. I mean, but he's a good quality coach. He should have got the job either way. Right. You know what I mean? And I don't think the Rooney Rule was instituted to give. And let's just be clear. Let's be 100% clear while we playing. Affirmative action was never intended to give people that are unqualified the job. We don't want unqualified Negroes running it just as bad as white folks don't.
That's right.
The point is, qualified Negroes need to be given a shot. Right. Period. Point blank. And when I say Negroes, I'm talking about women, Latins, whatever, what have you. You know what I mean? Right. It's the same deal. I mean, and so, but in the NFL, at least they put the Rooney Rule in to give brothers a shot, because before that we weren't even given a shot. I mean, it wasn't until Bobby Lanier. Willie Lanier was the first black middle linebacker, and that was in the 60s. They thought we weren't smart enough to play the middle linebacker. They thought we weren't smart enough to get people in the right position to run into each other. Come on, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you talk about the combine, you got your boy Cam Newton's coming out this year, who I think could be a decent quarterback. I don't know. I mean, that little spread offense they run, you don't know how many defenses he's reading. And that's an issue for all quarterbacks. I mean, I don't think he's going to get the same shot as a Tim Tebow got coming out. You know what I mean? Even though he's far superior athletically than Tim Tebow, he won't get the same shot as Tim Tebow did in regard to learning curve and shot. I mean, Tim Tebow was a 5th overall pick, and we know he can't really throw. He had to change his whole throwing motion even play this year, and still was only running touchdowns. Cam Newton can't throw the ball. Can he read defenses? We don't know. So totally different.
Where did he come from? Which school?
Oh, he's from Auburn. Okay. You know, he got the SEC. You know what I'm saying? And of course, he had that $180,000 that he was chasing. His dad tried to sell him off, and he said he didn't know nothing about it. Come on, man.
You know about $20.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Holler at your boy. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. 180. So you telling me you was gonna go to Mississippi State? You're gonna charge them $180,000, but to go to Auburn, you ain't gonna charge them nothing. That's cool. Anyway, but my point is, if that's how you're gonna do it, just play it across the board. You know what I'm saying? Don't come to the Pac-10, which I am. I do love the Pac-10, being from the OAK. You know what I'm saying? Holla. But don't come to the Pac-10 chasing down Reggie Bush for 5 years about a Heisman, and you're gonna let him right underneath your nose get the Heisman and all these rewards, and he got paid. Come on, man. You telling me he turned down $180,000 and didn't get no money from Auburn? That don't even make no good sense to nobody. That don't make no sense. But anyway, so the point is, if he can read defenses, I think he'll do well. Unfortunately, your boy Jaminkus Russell right here with the Oakland Raiders set the bar so low, man. It's hard to give a brother a shot. You know what I mean? He is the.
Did you call him Jaminkus?
Jaminkus. You don't remember that game, dude? So check it out. So the Raiders must have been like 0-5. He went out there and threw like 2 touchdowns. They barely won the game. And that fool had the nerve to show up on TV that afternoon with two carrot earrings and a mink hat and matching coat, or mink coat with a matching hat. And ever since then, he's been Jaminkus. Jaminkus. But yeah, I mean, he's a poster child for why you don't want to draft a big athletic black quarterback, but to be honest with you, the Raiders are an embarrassment to the league. I'm a Raider fan. But the Raiders are an embarrassment to the league. I mean, Al Davis has long since lost his ability to pick talent. I mean, it's clear, right? I mean, going back to the days when he chose that cornerback out of Dallas, the year that he got all his interceptions against the Pittsburgh Steelers. What was his name? What is that boy's name? It's gonna come to me. But anyway, I mean, he thinks everybody can be Cliff Branch. If you're fast, you're a good receiver. I mean, that's why you drafted Hayward Bay in front of Crabtree, which was, come on, man, that doesn't make sense. Hayward Bay was average at best at Maryland, and you draft him, what, 3rd overall, 5th overall. Crabtree files a 10. That's why he held out. He was like, man, this guy's garbage. And he was garbage. Crabtree should have reported to camp, but Hayward Bay is garbage. I think in 2 years he's been in the league, he's got like 15 catches, 30 catches. Like 3 touchdowns. I mean, come on, man. And that's Al Davis' inability to pick talent. He judges everything on speed. I mean, this year he got lucky with Rolando McClain, although I didn't agree with the pick. Well, I agree with the pick. I didn't agree with them getting rid of their starting middle linebacker from the year before because we could have played them together. But it worked out for him. Luckily.
But they had, at least for folks in the O, you had a decent year. You could at least be pleased with it.
Yeah, but then, of course,
prior to the years before, of course.
Right, but to tap it off, Al Davis finds his coach $120,000. He was keeping $20,000 a game check for the last 6 weeks for some unknown reason. So he's in litigation with his 3rd coach in a row. I mean, how are we gonna run a franchise, man, when every year you argue with the coach about the money, man? If you sign the contract, pay the man his money. It's that simple.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can't keep operating like this.
Right.
You know, I mean, again, I'm a Raiders fan, so it's personal.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I mean, come on, man, be serious.
Right. Right on. Well, hey, man, we pretty much wrapping it up, getting close to the end of our time. So, in closing, I mean, we kind of went through a lot: the All-Star game, some of the magenta carpet stuff, the trades and NBA combine, spring training's in full swing. So, what's coming down the pipe for next time we get together?
Well, next time we get together, obviously we're gonna be digging further into the NBA season. We'll be a little bit closer to the playoffs. We'll be probably right in the smack of March Madness. Or really getting excited about March Madness. And, it'd be interesting to talk about the Big Ten versus the Big East. Those are 2 power conferences in basketball. It'll be interesting to see what Ohio State can do relative to some of the top teams, again, in the Big East. We'll also be getting closer to the start of the season, baseball season. So more of that will be fleshed out, and it'll really be ready for the Giants to repeat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, and then, of course, we have the big labor negotiations with the NFL. Hopefully they can reach an agreement. If not, they get a work stoppage and we back to the scrabs and the scrubs for next year. That would be a mess. But as always, the world of sports is dynamic, man. Your boy JD here, JayDBO is here to bring it to you live and in color. Holla back.